connecting to the real nerds is so easy. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. We have a Twitter account at Real Nerds. We also have Instagram. You can call us 720-6nerds5. You want to email us? You can do that too, realnerds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic Con 2017 and beyond. Speaking of Denver Comic Con, Star Wars Night is happening at the Avalanche game December 7th when the Avalanche take on, pause for dramatic effect because my email closed. I think they're playing the Dallas Stars.
Wait, what night is this?
It's December 7th, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's a little later than I thought. I'm going to an Avs game, I think Thanksgiving weekend.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You know,
I go to one a year.
There are lots of fun to go to.
You have a small monkey climbing all over you while you try to do this.
That's because he really
Kelly,
likes the iPad. So he I just switched the thing. So let me read the actual press release so I don't get this right. It's Star Wars Night with the Colorado Avalanche versus the Dallas Stars. Join us at the Pepsi Center on December 3rd. At 7 p.m. for Star Wars Night with Colorado Avalanche. Specially priced ticket packages include a limited edition of Star Wars and Colorado Avalanche puck. The night will also feature droid builders, action figure green screen, and characters from the mountain garrison of the 501st Legion. The first 500 people to purchase tickets will have opportunity for post-game ice opportunities, plus $5 from each ticket purchase will go back to Pop Culture Classroom.
Awesome.
So do it. And Star Wars Nights are really fun. I've been to ones with the Rockies. And there's lots of people, and they're all dressed up, and it's just fun.
That's cool.
And if you go to this one, you're supporting comic book or Pop Culture Classroom, so that's also a good thing.
Absolutely.
So you know what? What segment we haven't done in a long time?
No, what segment have we not done in a long time?
We got fan mail.
We did.
And a phone call from a female fan.
Right, who we've never talked to before.
Her name is Corinne, and I'm going to play her message right now.
I'm so excited.
Hi, guys. My name's Corinne, and I just started listening to your show a couple of weeks ago. One of my coworkers recommended it to me, and it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed listening to you guys. It's kind of, background whenever I'm on my hikes or walks. So thank you guys for all of your hard work and commentary. It's really fun. I just kind of wanted to share some of the thoughts I had on this recent Doctor Strange movie. Obviously, it was a really good, really fun movie. The visual effects, of course, were just astounding. That scene in the middle when they're running through the city, and it was just gorgeous. And they did a really good job with the acting, Benedict Cumberbatch especially. And I really like the guy who played Wong. He did a really good job as well. The problem for me, and granted, I would still give this movie like a B, like a solid B. Like, it was still a good time, and I had fun, but I felt like sometimes it just got really bogged down with exposition, and there were times where it didn't, like, it kind of felt a little bit disconnected that from one scene to the next. A good example of that was like after he, I guess, mild spoilers, when he gets stabbed and he goes to the hospital, and there's like that whole scene in the operating room where she's trying to fix him, and also those effects with the astral projection was really strange. I felt like I was watching that Casper movie from the 90s, but after that, then he goes back to the sanctum, and he's talking with the Ancient One and Mordu, and then all of a sudden, so we go from one action piece to like a quick, sort of dialogue, expositionary scene, and then right back into the action, and it felt very strange, like the pacing was off or something, and just they went into too much detail about some things I felt, and really, this is magic. It's like the one thing you probably wouldn't have to explain if you didn't want to, like, he can teleport himself around the world. Okay, sure. I mean, okay, maybe the Eye of Agamotto. I understand them having to, have that scene where with the apple, like that was really, really good, and obviously factored into the plot later. But they were just so quick about, oh, but this will cause time loops, and you don't know what you're messing with. You're messing with the laws of time and nature, and we didn't really see any consequences of him using the Eye of Agamotto at the end. Did that affect him? Like all those times where he died in the time loop, did that impact him long term? So I mean, the ending was really, really good. That was probably my favorite part when he confronts Dormammu. But hi, Corinne again. Sorry. Hopefully you can splice this together. I got cut off, but yeah, the scene with Dormammu was really good. I loved the effects on him, and I liked, Benedict acting very, very smug in that scene. So yes, overall, the movie was very good. I thought it could have been a little bit better, but I still had a good time.
Very cool.
That was a very apt review of that movie.
I think so, too.
I really hope that Brad edited it properly so that her phone number is not included as she requested.
Yeah. She's like, please don't put this part on.
Yeah.
But
so if you just heard her say that, we're sorry.
Yeah, because Brad wasn't paying attention. But Corinne, if you want to come on the show, Facebook message us.
Yeah.
And let us know what movie you want to see. And that goes for anybody in the Denver areas. If you want to hang out with us and see a movie and talk about movies, you're more than welcome to come on the show. That's
cool.
What we do. Why are you texting? Who could you be? You're doing that last week, too. Who the fuck are you talking to?
I'm not talking to anybody. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We'll talk about it later. Don't worry about it.
No, I am worried about it because it's distracting you.
No, I'm not.
And it's starting to piss me off.
I'll push my phone over there. Don't worry.
Carol,
we're done.
James isn't paying enough attention to me.
You
need to talk to your son and let him know what's important.
Oh, mercy. Sorry.
It's my goal every week to say something to your mother because
she's the only person listening?
No, Corinne just proved that she's not.
No, very true.
So we have 5 between us and but no, that was awesome.
It was a really good review. Yeah. I'm glad she liked the movie.
It makes me really I love other people's perspectives because sometimes I get sick of ours.
Yeah, I mostly just get sick of yours.
Yeah, yours too.
Right, exactly. I love my perspective of things.
You keep on going to tell me that Magnificent Seven was a good movie.
And it really is. Oh man, what a great movie.
We got to get more good in here.
It's like one bad line.
Yep. It stayed with me the whole movie.
Not important. Oh man. So good.
I forgot to tell people
who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah, I got so excited that we got fan mail.
That's the show this week, guys. Bye.
Anyway, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world.
Right.
This week we saw Arrival.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Me either, because this is like we've reviewed the last 2 movies by this guy, whose name Dennis
and
right, yeah, and
French guy.
But in both cases, his movies have been among our top favorite movies of the year. And what was really cool about this one, I got to go see it with my folks.
Oh, cool!
And it's the first time I can recommend one of his movies to them, or because it wasn't like super depressing or.
See, that's a hard thing. Like I love Sicario.
Oh, I do too.
If Star Wars didn't come out last year, that would have been my favorite movie.
Right. Yeah. Very fair.
Because just everything about Sicario. One, I love Emily Blunt so much, and that she's just so badass in that movie. And I love that the movie doesn't give you too many answers.
Yeah.
A lot like this movie.
And it builds such great suspense, Like it's such a thrilling movie. And The Prisoners is like that too for me. I mean, The Prisoners is my favorite of those two, just because that movie is so punishing and difficult to watch. And it's not like there's anything that happens that it's just that it's a movie that it's hard to recommend to anyone. I mean, I was talking to a work friend this week, and I straight told him, I was like, I don't recommend any parent to see that movie.
No,
because it is just so difficult.
It's a brutal movie.
It's brilliant. I mean, he's such a good
he's a great filmmaker.
Yeah.
And does the streak continue? Stay tuned for the review.
Right, yeah.
So how we do it is we tell people if they should see the movie or not. We'll play the trailer, then we'll spoil the movie. We also talk about movie news, what we've been watching, things that are coming out on Blu-ray. We just like to have a good time.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for almost 6 years.
We have.
We have been doing it for 6 years.
5. Over 5.
Because didn't First Class come out in 2010?
Yeah, but it was June of 11.
Was
right?
it June of 11? I can't remember.
Because we're at 250-ish episodes, 265.
No, I think we're more than that.
Well, but still, right at 52 a year.
Yeah.
Plus a few extras.
We also do extra episodes that we don't number, so there's a lot of content on there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We've produced a lot of shit.
We have. When I think about that, yeah, because actually what I've been doing, because, we're coming up on our 300th episode, which we have something special planned.
Yeah.
We're not going to reveal what it is.
No.
But what I've been doing is I've been going back and listening to all our celebrity interviews.
Oh, cool.
Or not just celebrities, but also
like the fan interviews and all that stuff.
And so I'm trying to, because ramping up to our 300th episode, we're going to be hopefully go back through the archives and kind of find stuff. So I'm finding our favorite little bits from them.
We're going to put together all the good stuff so that people who started listening at 200 don't ever have to go back.
Don't worry. Episode 1 will never be on our good stuff.
Oh, man. There's some funny stuff in that episode.
There is. It's all right.
There's no episode structure. None of us are really like comfortable with what we're doing.
Now we just do whatever we want. We still have no episode structure.
Well, there are segments.
There is segments.
There wasn't even really official reviews back then. It was just like, well, I don't know. This week we all kind of went and saw Pirates.
Yeah.
But anyway, come along.
That's what we do.
Yeah. What are we doing first?
We're doing movie news first.
Great. That'll go quick.
Yep.
It's real news.
So there's a new trailer for Underworld Blood Wars, and I really think we should play it.
Our standard for news has really dropped recently.
But I think we should play it.
Sure. All right. Why not?
Larkin!
The Lycans have resolved to exterminate us.
They have a new leader, Marius. He wants the blood of Celine. If they use it, the Lycan's power will be limitless. There has never been a large-scale Lycan attack.
There has never been a Marius.
Help me protect her.
Do I look worried?
You must go north. You will find answers there.
War has followed you here.
Marius.
If you want to win this war, you will need to go further than even a warrior of your renown has ever ventured before.
Impossible.
Looking for someone.
There's nothing stopping her now. All I want is your blood.
Come and get it.
She is the purest of us all.
I'm not that pure.
If you just heard the Underworld trailer, it's because Brad edited it in. If you didn't, it's because we forgot to tell him to edit it in. But what you couldn't see is Celine now wears like a white wolf, like fur shawl.
Okay.
And her bottom part of her hair is dyed blonde.
Sure.
So now she's super fast, and they've never seen a vampire like her before. So I guess if you get your hair dyed blonde at the bottom, it makes you like super tough and badass.
Is it like Girl Frosted Tips? I haven't watched this trailer yet, so
no, it's pretty ridiculous, but in like a cool way.
It's like Frosted Tips, but for like hipster goth chicks.
Yeah.
Okay. I like Underworld movie. Well,
me too.
No, I like Underworld movie, and then there's a lot of sequels to them.
I think they're fun. Like to me, they're like the Resident Evil movies, which comes out 2 weeks after that one. They're not like the best movies, but they're still really fun.
I like them more than those just because I like Kate Beckinsale a lot more than like they are more coherent films.
I think so too. And I've always said too, actually, the first one, if you watch the unrated cut, is actually pretty great because they cut out so much story in the theatrical. That I'm a sucker for more story. So
yeah, the only problem was that it got that series got very up its own ass with with
the lore and
lore.
stuff.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. It was like it became like there's crossbreeding and all this, and I was like, dude, I just want to see Matrix vampires fight Matrix werewolves.
That's why I thought the last one was cool, where it's like she fights like giant sized Hulk werewolf.
Yeah, she goes into the future and then or whatever. I don't remember anything. Like she's got a daughter or something. I don't know. None of it made any sense.
No,
but it was still really cool looking.
Yeah.
I never saw the third one, the Rhoda Mitra one.
That's the second one, but
no. Underworld is second.
No, it goes
Underworld Evolution.
Oh, you're right. Then it goes Rise of the
Underworld
Lycans.
Evolution is the one where she has sex with Scott Speedman, and then they that one guy gets thrown into a helicopter blade at the end.
The monsters are pretty cool in it.
Yeah. The monster effects are good.
Yeah.
Is this one directed by Len Wiseman, or is he like?
I think
totally
he's just
done?
a producer of it.
Sure,
by producer, I mean he sits there and makes money.
Right. Yeah. Like when you've got enough money and you're married to Kate Beckinsale and you got kids, like just hang out in London, have a good time, worry about Brexit, you'll be okay.
And like for like a director, dude, he's like a good looking dude.
Yeah.
Right.
No shit. That wasn't like he really scored. Like they are two very attractive people.
Yeah. And he seems like every time I watch him in interviews and his commentaries,
fun guy.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
And you should be. I mean,
right, exactly.
He knows what kind of movies he makes.
Right. And he always made really like decently fun movies, right? Like, he was like a Stephen Sommers kind of guy for me, where I was like, "Oh, you make fun shit."
That's what bummed me out that Stephen Sommers he did Odd Thomas, which
I have no idea what that's
one of Anton Yelchin's last movies.
Oh shoot.
But it was a really weird movie and you're like, "Wow, that's where Stephen Sommers is gone."
I want Stephen Sommers to do like Deep Rising 2.
Yeah.
Like that's really what I want.
That's what I want to make, like an incoherent monster movie.
Yeah, right.
That's what I want.
Yeah. That's why
I'm going to watch Van Helsing tonight.
It's part of oh man. It's part of why I actually like his G.I. Joe movies. I'm just like, he's having fun with this. Like this is silly and dumb. Like it's super silly and super dumb. But I don't know.
Yeah, you have fun.
Yeah.
That's the secret to life, right?
Right.
Anyways, what's real news going on?
Oh, there wasn't much else. What was the shoot? There was one other thing that we talked about beforehand that now I can't remember. I don't know. I really don't think there was much. That's why I made the joke about our standards lowering. Nope. I got nothing. Robert Redford might retire. I don't want that to happen.
He's like the definition of cool, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you remember how good Spy Game is?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Remember how good pretty much everything he made prior to Spy Game was?
Remember how much fun Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is?
Yeah, man. And All the President's Men.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Anyway, he should not retire. He should just keep making movies until he's dead. Sorry.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I don't think there's really
He also
anything
said
else.
Hell Hydra, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, yeah.
Amazed me happy.
Yeah.
Those are like nerd moments when you see movies. You're like, did that just happen?
Oh, yeah. Every time I saw him in a trailer, like, I was so excited that Robert Redford was legitimizing that movie so much.
I know everybody is.
Yeah. Seriously. Man.
Just have fun.
Yeah. How good is that most recent Star Wars Rogue One trailer? Every time
I want to see it yesterday.
Every time that she says we have hope, rebellions are built on hope, I genuinely am moments from tears in a trailer. And it's so beautiful.
And I just dig like English actresses right now. So Felicity Jones and Emily Blunt, I adore.
Right. I mean, they basically look the same. They're almost the same person.
They are, but
Emily Blunt is just a little tougher.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. Maybe with Rogue One.
Might be.
I know at the Disney store has, like the Rey figure, they have a Jyn Erso one that.
Oh yeah, when I was in LA, I got the because I didn't know what character I wanted, but they had a bunch of those die cast. I forget what series they're called, but it's the same as that Rey figure
Black,
that I got.
Right?
Yeah, well, they're in the black box, and they're Elite series.
Oh, there we
Black
go.
Elite series, yeah. And so they've got a bunch of them, but I was like, well, I don't know what character I'm actually gonna like care about.
Yeah,
the most.
that's what I thought too. But
right,
I love Felicity Jones. So.
I got the C2B5, which is basically just black R2D2, because I was like, dude, at the end of the day, black R2D2 always going to look cool, even if it's not the best character in the movie, you know?
It's still awesome.
I'm sure that come Christmas Day, when I go after I've seen that movie, I will probably go to the Disney store around Christmas and pick up that diecast figure of her, because she just looks so badass.
Yeah, and I'm already in love with her, so
it'd be cool if they made one. I would love for them to make one of her in the like Death Star trigger costume, with a cool helmet, but the helmet comes off, because she looks so badass in that one moment where she turns back at the camera and she's in the whatever trooper outfit that is, laser button troopers, whatever those guys would be called. So that's what I really want.
Yeah, and it was cool seeing that, because it's one of those things. Like, man, I need to see that movie now.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to get like antsy for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't got antsy for a movie since Civil War.
Yeah. I got to meet a couple of the guys from MST3K yesterday at the Alamo.
Did you?
The guy who played Crow, and then
that's my favorite character.
I should remember their names, but I don't. But they were doing a cool special event at the Alamo a couple nights this week, and when I was there to see Arrival, they were just hanging out in the bar.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's movie news, is us talking about how cool Jen Esso is.
Right.
But hey.
Yeah.
That gets me excited.
Yeah. I don't even know what else, like, there's a bunch of little movies that I'm excited about. So, like, I really want to see Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, I saw a new trailer for La La Land today.
Oh, yes, that one's really good. Man. And I do feel like that trailer for Passengers is just does not do it for me.
No, I think it looks interesting.
It's also, those people are too damn pretty. That's the problem. Like, I look at that movie and go like, this feels so Hollywood.
I'll never be Chris Pratt.
Right, no, it's just so clean Hollywood, like pretty people having sex in space. Oh.
Yeah.
You know?
I did see the Logan trailer is awesome.
Yeah.
Which trailer did I see today that was really cool? I can't remember now.
In front of Arrival, I got Rogue One, and then a couple other.
Yeah, because you went to the Alamo.
Whatever. Yeah. Oh yeah, where'd you go? Did you go to the?
I went to the AMC. I was gonna go to the Alamo, but their first showing was at 12:30.
Oh, gotcha.
And I was stuck late at work, so
yeah,
I'm like, I can't make the 12:30 one.
Right.
And it bummed me out because I went last week to the Alamo, and it was an awesome experience.
It was pretty cool. They showed the trailer for Contact before it. Which I always like seeing the trailer for Contact. So, yeah, anyway.
Cool. This is what's coming out on Blu-ray next week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. So, Finding Dory is your big release for the week.
Yeah. I didn't order it on Amazon because I don't know which version I want, because they have some cool packaging at other places. Yeah. But I actually really like the 3D one where Hank the octopus is like... Is that his name, right?
I don't remember.
I think it's Hank.
Sure.
He's like hanging off the side. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So because now I've been starting to get the 3D versions of the Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Because usually it comes with an extra bonus disc.
Right.
And it's only like $2 more.
It's funny because I liked that movie, but I wasn't in love with that movie, and so my brain defaulted to like, well, I'll just buy it. I'll wait a little while before I buy it. And then I always realize with Disney movies how stupid that is. Because like, well, it's still going to be $30.
Oh, Disney movies never go down.
6 months from now.
The only ones that are like, might say bargain price is like Treasure Planet.
Yes, right.
But stuff like Pixar is always $24 or
right.
$20. I think it's the cheapest I see them.
Speaking of Disney stealing everybody's money, though, The Jungle Book is getting a collector's edition 3D Blu-ray release this week, which they, I guess, deliberately didn't release.
They're starting to do
2 months
that
ago.
Gross. Because I noticed Pete's Dragon that comes out is doing the same thing.
I will say that's kind of disgusting.
It is.
Because I like the cover a lot. I think the cover is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really need a 3D Blu-ray of it, but is Disney putting out 4K Blu-rays?
I haven't seen any.
Okay, interesting.
I think they're waiting for it to catch on a little more.
Yeah, I've been toying around with the idea of sometime this Christmas, spending a little money and buying a 4K TV.
Yeah, you know what? Me too.
They're getting cheap. For like $2,000, you can get.
I just
an OLED.
bought this one, and my wife's no way gonna fly with it.
No.
So you know what I just noticed looking at digital bits is they don't have the Force Awakens collector's edition on it that comes out next week.
Oh, is that out next week?
Yeah.
Oh.
I should just go to my Amazon orders because that's where all the big movies are.
Everything important to buy is on your Amazon orders list already. Yeah. So Game of Thrones season 6 is out this week. Do you have that ordered?
I don't. I like Game of Thrones a lot.
Yeah.
But I wait about a year after the seasons
for the price to come down.
So because HBO Blu-rays, that's probably $60 or $45 on Amazon even.
Oh yeah.
So what I do is I wait, and then when they're like $19.99.
Right. The Peanuts Holiday Anniversary Collection is out this week on Blu-ray. I was gonna say, I'm sure that one's on your list. Is it just the pumpkin, the Thanksgiving one, and Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But $20, that's not bad.
Oh no, absolutely good. Season 2 of Better Call Saul, which makes me feel bad about the fact that I still haven't watched season 1. The Star Trek animated series is getting a Blu-ray release this week, so you can check that out. It's a pretty cool, retro-y 70s looking cover thing.
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love's Criterion Blu-ray is this week.
Finally on Blu-ray.
Yeah, man.
I have that pre-ordered too.
That's a good movie. I should check that movie out again. Other things that I really need to get into. Akira Kurosawa's Dreams is getting a Blu-ray release. I really want to just go buy every movie that he made or that is related to him, and then spend like a week just sitting down and watching 3-hour black and white epics.
Nice.
Orson Welles' Citizen Kane is getting a Blu-ray release this week. I don't know if this is the first time it's on Blu-ray, but it's the 75th anniversary. Yeah,
it came out in one of those digibooks.
Oh, did it?
Originally.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel like I've seen that. This is like a 75th anniversary. It doesn't look like much, but it's one more chance to pick it up. And then finally, Chud from Arrow is out this week.
Yeah, that stands for
CHUE.
Cannibal Humanoid Underground Dwellers.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. It's
like
cover.
A zombie movie. It's not bad.
Do the monsters not look like they do on this cover?
No, they look like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I think that's everything. There's other stuff, but there's also a lot of it's kind of junky.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out though. The Beatles 8 Days a Week, the touring years comes out that I kind of want to see.
Oh, cool.
Because I got the CD and the CD is really great.
Oh, neat. Oh, that's a Ron Howard movie. I totally skipped over that.
Because I love the Beatles and I've only heard a few of their songs live, and this CD has been remastered so it sounds great. And it opens with a live version of Twist and Shout, which I think is just epic.
Yeah.
Even though, people are like, oh, it's a cover song, but I still think it's a great John Lennon song.
Yeah. There tend to be like a lot of concert movies every week, and I didn't realize that that's what that was. So like there's a Rush concert this week and a couple other things.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I know is because I got the CD for it.
Right, yeah. Orson Welles' Macbeth is also out this week.
I actually...
Oh, it's an olive signature.
So Barnes & Noble is having their half-off Criterion sale right now.
Yeah.
And I got 2 movies that I've never seen before, and they're both silent films. But one's called The Freshman, and it's a Harold Lloyd, he plays football.
Oh,
and
cool.
I heard it's like one of the greatest silent film comedies ever.
Yeah.
And the other one I got is called The Phantom Carriage, and it's like the coolest cover ever. And it's a Danish silent film that's supposed to be like one of the greatest early horror films ever. So I just love the cover. That's like a horrible way to buy movies, but...
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, man. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's about death.
Because it's the silhouette of a old-timey carriage being pulled by a sad-looking horse, but the carriage driver is the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
With a big scythe.
And on the back it says it's Charlie Chaplin's favorite movie.
Really?
So
that's pretty cool.
That has to be worth something, right?
Absolutely. I did skip Army of One, which is a Nicolas Cage movie that has Paul Scheer in it, is out this week. So listeners to How Did This Get Made can all go pick that up finally. I also ran across this thing. There's a movie called One of Our Aircraft is Missing, which is an old film from... Oh, shoot. Damon Amon's on. Where's the year? Nope. You were just lying to me. I just think that this, I think that title and cover is pretty cool.
I do that. Like, I think the Phantom Carriage is a cool title, and then the cover is awesome.
Terrific adventure. One of our aircraft is missing. Anyway, cool looking.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Yep. Check it out.
And this is the stuff we've been watching.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Dude, mine's so easy. So, because my wife's birthday was last weekend, it's hard for me to watch movies during the week because my schedule's so goofy.
Right.
And my kid's around, so I got this Blu-ray. It's a Disney one. It's called Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas and Twice Upon a Christmas. Basically, they're just little Christmas vignettes. So each one's like 15 minutes, and they all have the moral of the story, like Donald can't be selfish, or Mickey can't get mad at Pluto for, destroying Christmas. And the cartoons are actually pretty cute. Not all of them are great.
Sure.
But there's, each one has some that really stand out. The first one I think is better because it's also hand-drawn.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is CGI, which isn't bad, but I'm old school, so I kind of like how my characters look that way.
Yeah.
And when they become 3D models, I'm like...
Is it like... does it feel like 3D... Does it feel in the same spirit as the original stuff, or does it feel like the MTV Spider-Man show?
It's not as bad as that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because they're still like cute characters.
Sure.
And I mean, there's the...
I guess I'm asking, does it look like that Mickey Mouse animated show that they make now?
No, it's a little up, because you're talking about the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse that they make for the kids.
Yes.
Which it started out a little rough, but as the series went along, it actually looks a lot better.
Oh, okay.
But this one, it looks pretty good because there's more money into it.
Sure.
Like there's the opening cartoon is Daisy and Minnie are like ice skating with the hippos and the crocodiles from Fantasia. So it looks really great. And it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
There's I'm trying to remember. Man, why can't I remember the one that like made me like get choked up? As in the first, I can't remember. Anyways, they're really cute. I think you can get the Blu-ray now. It's like $14. If you like Mickey and stuff, it's pretty good. And then the one that does make me choke up is today me and Kellen watched Mickey's Christmas Carol, and when Mickey as Bob Cratchit puts the crutch of Tiny Tim on the gravestone or the headstone, and like Mickey's face there, he's like has like tears coming down his face. It always gets me every time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen Mickey's Christmas Carol, you definitely should because it's a really cute movie.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's what I watched this week. I watched Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Yeah. Mine. Well, so we recorded about 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So that's part of why this is going to be really light. Mine is similar. I saw The Arrival, and then spoilers for later, saw The Arrival again. And then other than that, I rewatched Civil War this week.
Nice.
Which is the first time I've watched the Blu-ray. I bought the Steelbook back when it came out, but I just hadn't gotten around to actually watching it. And that movie is awesome.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Man, like I had forgotten how much fun and just how well written that movie is, right? Like, we give Marvel movies such a hard time for having like pretty weak villains. And then here's this movie where Baron Zemo wins. Spoilers for Civil War, but Baron Zemo wins.
He's one of my favorite villains in the whole universe.
Oh yeah, honestly, like I look at it now and go, like he's one of the best superhero movie villains. Period.
Oh yeah,
like such a well written character.
Because they even have that great scene at the end where he's talking to Martin Freeman.
Yes,
and Martin Freeman's like, "Look where you ended up. Yeah. Lost. Did I?
Right?
Did I lose?
Right.
So great.
Yeah, and just the scene right before that where he's sitting in the snow talking to Black Panther.
Oh, that's great.
Like both those characters are having wonderful moments right
What
then.
does Black Panther say?
Well,
the universe
says,
is not done with you yet.
The living are not done with you yet. Yeah. Because but right before that he's talking about, like you've been completely devoured by vengeance, and I won't let that happen to me. And like it's a really effective movie for making you like Black Panther. And a lot of that is because of that relationship with showing you Baron Zemo and showing you his story and going like, oh, they're actually very similar people.
I think what's cool of Civil War too is it builds on so much where you think it's going one way, and maybe the greatest superhero battle ever is at the airport.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
The climax to me is way more weighty.
Yes,
because of the performances of the characters and the actors, and
it's three characters like genuinely hurting each other. I mean, in the moment when Bucky is trying to rip the heart out of the Iron Man suit, and then Iron Man just like whoosh, and blasts his arm off, and you're just like, fuck. Like I care about these people, and it's really a devastating sequence.
Yeah, and there's and the part before that where they're showing the status report, and they're showing the surveillance photo of what happened to Stark's parents.
Yeah.
And the realization of when Tony he says a line, and Robert Downey Jr. is so good.
Yeah.
He says, "What am I watching? What is this?"
Yeah.
But
I know
he knows what he's watching.
He knows where it's going,
but he doesn't want to believe what he's watching.
Right.
And he has and he looks at, Cap, and he says, "Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know?"
Yeah.
And what does Cap say?
Well, at first he says like, he tries to deflect. He says to say like, Tony, don't,
He says, "Don't give me your bullshit answer."
Yeah. I knew.
Son of a bitch killed my mom.
It's really devastating because you didn't know that Cap knew until then, right? Like it's such a great moment. I also love that. I love the callback where, Tony starts just beating the shit out of him and knocks him back. And he's like, "Look, we have to stop this." And he just stands back up and goes like, "I can do this all day." Right? Because in that moment you realize that Tony is the bully. Like that's what's going on here. And even though you know why, like, it's just so freaking good.
It is, and that's what makes it, because you see both of their points of view in this fight, and when Batman and Superman comes out, you just don't care.
Oh yeah,
you don't care why they're fighting. No.
But there's not enough actual personal emotion in it.
Exactly, because they don't even have the scene where they're in a conference room, and Tony Stark comes with a pen. And he says, "I'm trying to help you out here."
It's so good. And I love the scene where he gets Cap, like they've arrested Cap, and he gets Cap there to the point of, if you sign this, like we'll change the law after it's signed. I just need you to be on my team so that we don't screw everything up. And he's getting him there, and you're like, oh, it's working. And then he says like, hey, then I can let Wanda out of the house I've locked her up in, and you just watch it turn in Cap's mind. He's like, wait, what? No, you've just proven that you're not doing what you say you're going to do. Like that everything that I'm afraid of is exactly what's going to happen.
And neither side is right, which is a testament to how great that movie is written.
Well, I mean, no, Captain America is right, and everything Captain America does is correct. And
really,
Tony
hiding from your friend
Tony
that somebody killed his parents.
He had very good motive. Clearly, it was because as soon as Tony found out, he was willing to almost kill people that he cared about. So yeah, it was the right thing to do. All right, maybe not, but
it is so well written. And being a Spider-Man fan, it's so much joy.
Yeah.
Where Tony's like, I have a guy. Wait, where's your guy? Downstairs. Yours? Queens. And it goes, bing.
Yeah. It's so good.
What are you, like, Spider Kid? No, Spider-Man. It's awesome.
Yeah. But genuinely, that's pretty much the only, because like I said, everything else that I watched this week, I watched before we recorded the last show. So
yeah.
That's pretty much everything I got.
Wow, we're just moving along.
Last week was a short episode. We are gonna smoke that one.
Yeah. So this week. Oh no, wait! I forgot something.
What?
Henry called in for Art House Asshole.
Shoot, I haven't read this one yet. I'm excited.
Here it is.
I love art house movies. You can call me Mr. Asshole.
Hey, Real Nerds, Henry here, giving you an update on Art House Asshole. This week I know has been crazy, but we have a pretty good film this week that I think that you guys will like. It's called High Rise. It's currently on Netflix if you are interested in watching it. It's by Ben Wheatley, who has done a lot of he's a very up-and-coming kind of indie director. Free Fire comes out next year, which I'm sure will be on a lot of people's radars. This one has Tom Hiddleston and a couple other people in it. It's about this building, and there's class warfare. Essentially, like, it's a building designed so you never have to leave it, and the higher you are in the building, the higher your income is. The lower you are, the lower your income is, and obviously there's going to be some problems with that. This film gets absolutely insane. It starts off really, really cool. It's similar problems to Neon Demon, I would say. But anyway, if you want my full thoughts on it, you can go check out the review on realnerdspodcast.com. I do recommend it. I think it's a fun film to be had, even if it at some points makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, that's the film this week. I hope you guys like Arrival. I haven't seen it yet, so let me know if I should see it. Bye.
Tom Hiddleston in High Rise.
Yeah, that's right. I started it a little bit, and it sounds like he really liked this movie. I'm going to have to check it out.
Who doesn't love Tom Hiddleston?
Right, I know.
I do. He's all like sexy and British and shit.
You doesn't like Tom Hiddleston?
I love him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, yeah, that seems like a cool one. I'm going to have to keep my eyes out for that movie when it, I do feel like my problem with the Art House Asshole now that, Henry is out in New York is that he keeps seeing all this shit I don't get to see.
Yeah,
I have to wait till this stuff comes out on Blu-ray.
I'm in New York City.
I'm learning how to make real kid movies. I got my big boy pants on.
That's what I do, New York City.
Who wants to see my test screen and stuff? Oh, I got this footage I made. No, really, he's doing some cool work.
Yeah,
it's really excited to see everything he's doing. So good job, Henry.
Yep. So this week we saw Arrival, not The Arrival.
No, that's a movie with Charlie Sheen where some aliens show up and like probe him or something.
I don't
remember. Yeah.
But we saw Arrival. Yeah. James, should people see Arrival?
Yes. So, this is one of those movies that's very much made for James, and so I can't necessarily be biased about or unbiased about this movie. This is a really wonderful, brilliant movie. In the same vein as a Contact, it's a movie that has a lot more to say than just what it's doing with aliens. It also talks a lot about how language works, and so I love those parts too. I think it's a really beautiful story. I think I walk away with a lot of meaning, and I will warn you that after two warnings. One, after we play the trailer, we are going to spoil this movie because I don't know how to talk about this movie without spoiling the shit out of it. And so if you are at all interested, do not listen to the rest of the review. And the other thing is that I'm going to get probably very hyperbolic and say a lot of very silly things about how much I love this movie. I think it's a beautifully made, wonderful story that I think people should check out. So, Ryan?
So this movie sold me on the fact that I'm watching a movie about aliens invading Earth.
Yeah.
This movie is not about aliens invading Earth.
Nope.
It's maybe one of the most beautiful stories I've watched on screen.
Thank God.
And
oh, man, I was really nervous about this one.
And I don't know how to talk about it without overselling it. And here's the thing. The movie stuck with me so much. And, we have Film Explosion coming up so soon.
I'm so happy right now.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to be my top 10.
It will be.
But I don't know.
This movie made this year really rough real fast for me.
Yeah, and it's just... Here's the thing, is the movie's... You think it's one thing, and it's absolutely not what you think it is.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
I'm so excited to talk to you about this movie.
Here's a trailer for Arrival.
Oh, go see this thing.
There are days that define your story beyond your life. Like the day they arrived.
Signs of what might be called first contact. The objects measure at least...
I'm Colonel G.T. Weber from Army Intelligence. Pack your bags. You're at the top of everyone's list when it comes to translations. Priority 1. What do they want? Where are they from? You'll be reporting to me, but you'll be working with him when you're in the show.
That's what they call him, the UFO.
was being carted off in the medevac.
Not everyone is wired for what you're about to do.
So what do they look like?
You'll see soon enough.
Every 18 hours, a door opens up. That's where we go in.
It's time. Yeah, that just happened.
What happens now?
They arrive.
They need to see me.
Dr. Banks? Are you insane?
Now that's a proper introduction.
More objects have landed around the world.
This is one of 12.
I'm never going to be able to speak their words.
Got 2 days. Figure something out.
I am human. It's their language. We need to make sure that they understand the difference between a weapon and a tool. Language is messy, and sometimes one can be both.
Are you dreaming in their language? It's possible they're prodding us to fight among ourselves.
This is just a way to force us to work together for once.
It's more complicated than that.
How is it more complicated?
Russia just executed one of their own to keep their secret.
Got 21 hours
Before they start global war.
So how do we clarify their intentions?
I go back in.
Why does this feel worse?
Oh, Ryan!
Before I start the review, is Amy Adams the most versatile actor ever?
I've missed her.
Because she does comedy, she does drama, she does musicals.
I mean, and this is, and I also want to upfront say that, like, it is a testament to Dennis guy whose name I can't pronounce that I need to go hear an interview so that I can pronounce. If I can say Chiwetel Ejiofor, I need to go figure out how to say this guy's name because I love him so much. It is a testament to his quality that he keeps getting maybe my favorite performances ever out of the actors in his, out of the leading actor, right? Like, Hugh Jackman's performance in The Prisoners is my favorite of his. Emily Blunt in Sicario, at least one of, if not my favorite performance of hers.
It's my favorite Benicio del Toro.
I don't think, yeah, absolutely. And I can't remember loving Amy Adams as much as I do. She is unbelievable in this movie.
Yeah, it's okay. So again, if you don't want to know about this, please stop because
it is the. It's not, and to be clear, it's not about spoiling the aliens or anything to do with that. There's an emotional story here, and this movie is talking about the way that we view our lives in a way that will not affect you properly if you hear it said out loud.
Exactly. And so right away, because what I love about this movie too is it gives you just a little bit at a time, and it gives you it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I started, like, a tear came down my eye right at the beginning of this film.
I got a little bit weepy, and then of course I wept at the end.
Oh.
And then when I saw it the second time, whole beginning, nothing but tears. Just wrecked me.
So the beginning starts with Amy Adams holding her baby girl, and
she's talking to her.
It's
all narration. She's telling her, like, hey, this is your story.
Yeah.
You know.
Right away, so I'm like, wait, I thought this was an alien movie. But so
right.
It's starting. She's telling a story about Hannah, her little daughter Hannah.
And at this point, I'm so in because I'm like, oh, great! Like you're telling me this alien movie, but first you're setting up the fact that this woman that I'm going to follow has this really rough past and is at this place in her life, and she's going to have to learn. Like this experience is going to teach her something really powerful about life.
Yeah, because
I was so sold.
Because that's what happens right away. So, and it's not spoilers because this is the first 5 minutes of the movie. Right. You watch her daughter grow, and then you find out her daughter gets some form of cancer.
Right.
And this is when, like, I got misty-eyed.
At about 18 or 19, something in
where
there.
she, like, pulls the covers over her daughter,
yeah.
and she says, come back to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
And then the next scene is...
that shot of her, like, weeping in the hallway. Oh, it's just terrible.
It is, and it's shot so well.
It's like Up. I mean, it's basically like more difficult, less beautiful version of Up.
Yeah, it's because right away you feel for this character because the next thing you see with her is she's this linguistics professor who she seems like she's just going through the motions of life.
Terribly depressed.
Because her daughter died.
Right.
And you're like,
and she's like her yeah, so I'll show the cards a little bit. At that point in the movie, the way you're translating it is that she is very depressed, when in fact it's actually just that her life is very mundane.
Exactly.
And what's great about it is the way he films that first, not the intro section, but once we skip forward and we start the story of the day of the arrival, is that he really lingers on all these mundane things.
And it just shows how mundane her life is because when everyone else is watching, the thing, she's like, I don't care.
Yeah, she just doesn't, it doesn't impact her, right?
And then when no one shows up to school the next day, she still goes in.
Right.
Because she's so used to it.
The world actually keeps, forcing itself violently into her mundane life, where you've got, the cars wrecking and the jets really loud over, it's why this event coming to interact with her life is constantly loud and obtrusive. I mean, man, the movie is almost not ever as scary as when the helicopter's coming at her house, and it's and it's also shot to make it look like it's a spaceship or whatever, because he's drawing on. They did such a brilliant job marketing this movie that you go in feeling like you're going to see really a traditional thriller, alien, suspensey kind of movie,
or let's figure out why the aliens are here.
Right, yeah. But you've got this tension, and with a lot of alien movies like this, there's always a tension till you see the creature.
Yeah.
And he just bleeds that through the first 20 minutes,
And then he's like, oh, here they are.
Yeah. They're the fucking squid things. Who cares?
Yeah.
We're moving on. He even denies you because he shows you, and there's going to be a scene, right? You start to get this tension, and you're like, oh, this is great. We're getting somewhere. And he just cuts to them back in the clean room, and you could feel the whole audience go what? You just because it's not what the movie's about.
No, it's what's so beautiful about the film, besides how it's shot, besides how it's acted, and the music, is you start getting sucked in, and you're given these little flashes of something's happening.
Yeah,
you get things with her daughter. And, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so hard.
I think we need to pull the Band-Aid off and just talk about this movie.
Because I'll do a little more subtle. After her first time, she has this meeting with Forrest Whitaker, who's great in the film, too.
Right, yeah,
and Jeremy Renner is great, too.
Yeah, we should talk about the aliens for a while and then talk about what's happening.
So she's trying to communicate with him.
Oh, so
good.
So,
Forrest Whitaker asked her, he said, you're giving me grade school
words.
This, that.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah, because how much it plays to later in the movie. Because she says, what is your purpose on Earth?
Yeah.
And she's like, you have to understand this part to understand this part. And she's going through the whole thing. And you don't realize they are playing you for her whole journey throughout the whole film.
Yes.
And as when you watch that scene, you're like, oh yeah, we got to figure out why the aliens are here.
It is also a feat that she is explaining sentence structure to the audience, and it is riveting.
It is.
It is so much fun. And the first time I saw it, I was like, well, this is only for me, right? And then everybody I've talked to is like, no, I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Because it's just interesting to hear her talk about, no, this is how this works, and this is why, that scene is so good that this movie could have just been about the challenge of talking to an alien species and still been fascinating.
But she has to decipher it because at first you think it's for the aliens, but it's actually for the audience to understand.
Right.
Not the aliens.
Right.
It's what happens to her.
Right.
Because she has to figure out the aliens' language.
Because so much of the point of this movie, or I'll say so much of the science fiction of this movie, does have to do with the way language works and what that means for us. So even that scene, man, this script is brilliant. Even that scene itself is a bit of a red herring, because the problem she has to solve is that the language she's trying to translate to is not linear the way that the sentence she's trying to ask them is. And right? So her being able to write it that way on the board is antithetical to the problem she's trying to solve.
Exactly. And how the movie plays out and how you're given a little more simple things of her daughter's name, where she explains Hannah is the same backwards and forward.
It's a palindrome.
And the aliens speak in a way that maybe you don't. What does weapon mean to them?
Right.
And she's trying to explain to people that just because you hear weapon doesn't mean weapon.
Right.
And if Hannah goes one way, you read it one way, what's it when you go the other way? It doesn't mean the same thing.
Right.
And
and even you, right? Like she's like, no, like you can be a singular or plural thing. We have to understand what they're actually saying. And for the 20 or 30 minutes that this movie is very heavily invested in her trying to solve that problem and learn this language and teaching us about the challenge that she's facing, it's fantastic. Like, it's such a fun adventure. You've got that great sequence where Ian, Jeremy Renner's character, we basically hear what seems to be the audio from a like kind of documentary he's making from the, because they're working on this for months, where he explains like the way that the language works and why it's problematic, and the fact that what they say never correlates to what they write. And it's just a fascinating, like, sort of mystery film at that time. At that point,
and there's little hints throughout the film that the structure of this film isn't A to B.
Right.
Whether it's her daughter telling her it's a story about her. She had a project in school, and it's like, make a TV show. Oh, it's about mommy and daddy and a talking animal.
Right.
And and they show you this bird in a cage, and they keep on showing a bird in a cage when they go see the aliens on the ship, because it's like an old miners thing. You bring the bird in to make sure that the bird can breathe.
Right.
But they're telling you that the big reveal in this,
here we go, is
the aliens are there to let her know that they need help in the future.
Right. So
because she has the ability to see into the future.
Well, she gets the ability to see.
It gets it from the aliens.
Yes.
Because aliens need help in 3,000 years.
Yes.
And that's a great scene, because she says, well, how can I help you? You know, what do you want me to do? And they say, you have the ability.
Right. So basically, it all hinges on a throwaway scene almost, in which Ian talks about the fact that he's been reading these books, and that there's this theory that when you're studying language, if you really get fluent in a language, it can rewire the way that your brain thinks, because languages all behave differently. And the one that she is studying is one that dramatically behaves differently from the one that our language does, right? So human language in all cultures around the world are linear. You're either reading it from left to right or right to left or whatever, but there is a direction, and with their language there isn't. The actual words and the meaning is all built in the same moment and the same symbol. And very similar to super complex, like old Chinese languages, in fact. And so the premise of the actual science fiction part of the movie is that she, by learning the language, is able to perceive time the way they do, and they don't perceive time linearly. They see both into the future and into the past, and can conceptualize their time much better than human beings can. Which means that she starts seeing visions of her own future, and those visions are all about her daughter who has not been born yet.
Yeah, exactly. And what's so great about this movie is she's just given glimpses.
And go ahead. Go ahead. I was just going to say, what I leave out there is that the reason that they're doing that is because in 3,000 years, when they need help, they need human beings to be able to communicate with them and to be advanced enough and unified enough to actually help them.
Exactly. And that I was actually going to play on that. So that just goes back to the book she wrote
Right.
And the conversation she had with the Chinese general.
Yes.
You know, which is, at the time you're like, oh, what is going on here? And then it's just a little bit of this, you know, he's like, how did you know to tell me what to say? And he said, but you already had my personal phone number. It's right here.
Yeah.
And it's just these little,
and he's so knowing.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
Yeah.
And a fascinating one from so I will say you can run yourself ragged trying to figure out some of the rules here.
Yeah, but to me it's like an X-Men movie.
Absolutely.
Because you can't, the only thing you can count on is her telling the story.
Right.
And so you can't.
Yes, because she tells us she has agency. She never actually shows us. So she never shows us that she can change her future.
Exactly.
She tells her she chooses not to.
And
which is super powerful, and we will talk about that.
Oh my gosh. So the part, I don't know what got you. What got me in this movie is when she is still writing to or talking to Hannah, and she says, "You ask me if I would go through all this, even though I know how it's going to end," and the answer is absolutely yes. Right. And you're like, "Oh my god."
Oh yeah,
dude. The tears were coming down, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean, I knew. So when the scene by the lake happens, and at that point we know it's in the future, and we know we know, okay, she told her husband what was going to happen, and that's why he left. And you realize in that moment, I was like, oh, I know exactly where we're going. Like the conversation here is you chose to do this, even though you knew where it was going. And so already I was like, from that scene on, I was just like, I knew I was gonna get all weepy and devastated, and that this was gonna become beautiful if done right. Like I just knew that's where we had to take this. And it was just about his execution of that moment and how long he dwells on it.
And that's where Amy Adams is so great in this movie. I think this is her best moments.
Yes.
Is the scene you talked about where she's talking to her daughter.
So
and then
because when she looks back at her mom and says like, I'm unstoppable, and you're just fucking wrecked.
Yeah, and then
you are wrecked.
And then it goes back to present time where she's with Jeremy Renner.
I know why my husband left.
And I know why he left.
Ugh.
And he's like, you were married? And it's just like these little things that just get you. And then she hugs him, and her face and her line of, I would do it again. I'm not going to, I would rather be devastated.
Yes.
And have my daughter than not experience my daughter. Right. I think there's,
oh man, the script is so good. There's a great line at the beginning that she says, sometimes I remember the moments in between, right? And so and what that does, like the line is so good that all those little times where you see like, you know, just the glimpses of her daughter laughing or the rock getting turned over while she plays in the lake, and like just these tiny little moments that are so beautiful that even as painful as the painful moments are, you realize like, oh yeah, no, that's why she does all of that.
Yeah,
and you get I love when she flashes back and Jeremy Renner like grabs her and gets her into the car. She has a line where she says, I forgot how good it felt to be held by you. And you realize that's not present her. That's years in the future after they've divorced her saying, I forgot how good it.
Exactly.
And it's such a heartbreaking, like, you know, it is this person who's suddenly gifted with the ability to lay their life out in front of them and take stock of everything that they get to do and decide what they want to partake in and what they don't. And what she says is, no, the whole thing is great. Like,
and I think if you talk to anybody, I think even if you lost somebody, everybody's lost somebody.
Right.
You would never trade what you've had with that person.
Yeah.
Even if you knew how that was going to end. I mean, I wouldn't.
Right.
And I think that's such a powerful message, and you don't expect this movie. That's what I mean when I had no idea this movie was going this way.
No, absolutely
I mean, I was
not.
interested in the movie already because I'm like, I want to see them try to figure out what aliens are saying.
Right. Right. This seems cool. I don't know. It's shot well. It's a pretty movie. Amy Adams is a pretty lady. I'll see that. Whatever.
But
and then
for it to go in a totally different way, and from the very first 5 minutes, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the movie that was sold to me.
Right.
And for it to be so beautiful, and I'm not even, I mean, yeah, the really cool, twists and stuff is great, and the ending, but even when they're trying to figure out what the aliens are saying, and, we mentioned it, trying to figure out the language and how they're talking, and, I think, too, that it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Because it's shot well, it's about understanding different people and different cultures. You can't rush to judgment.
Right.
It's about being open, and
It is a movie that has so many different things going on. So here's where I'm really going to get bombastic and wax poetic for a moment, if you'll allow. This movie reminds me why I love story so much. Because nothing that this movie says is actually that... No. Nothing that this movie says is that original. It's all very profound, but all of the profound things that it says about the way we look at our life and what's important and the fact that we should work together and the fact that we shouldn't rush to judgment, all of these many different things that it's touching. Because, yes, the story about her seeing her life is the most impactful thing to me, but what you're getting at is there's half a dozen other really wonderful messages in this movie that we could also talk about for half an hour apiece.
Exactly.
But in, the difference is all of those things are things that we all know or have heard or are a part of philosophy, but being said, they do not latch onto your soul the way that a really great story does. And so when you get to a moment in your life where something happens, what we tend to go back to is those stories that we hold dear, and this becomes one that so often will be something that I refer to in the language I use to talk to people in my life to go, okay, the thing that I'm living right now reminds me about the lesson I learned from this movie. And yeah, it's a movie about aliens and conversation and stuff, but it's not. It's actually a movie about the way I live my life, and it becomes a touchstone for my soul and the way that I choose to live moving forward, and that is only achievable by story.
I agree.
There's no other way. Like you can't just tell me a thing that is true. I need to see it and experience it the way that you do in this movie.
And I don't think anything is cheap in the movie.
No.
Even when Jeremy Renner, Ian, and Louise fall in love, I think they earned it.
Yeah.
Because right away they kind of have that we're both doctors and we're really smart and we're cocky and we can do this.
Yeah.
But he says that line where they're get ready to get on the helicopter at the end, and he says, I thought the most thrilling thing would be seeing the aliens and meeting them, but no, it's you.
And what's great about it, I mean, the movie's able to cheat a little bit just because it's a beautiful line to start a relationship, and rather than it needing to earn them falling in love, they simply can show us that they are in love in the future.
Exactly.
So we don't need to you don't have to walk us down a path to get us there. You simply see the joy and the love in those moments.
And it's a building
later.
of a relationship. It's not
right,
because they don't even kiss in the movie until the end when they have little baby Hannah.
Right,
because she just hugs him.
Right. Yes.
Because she just hugs him.
Right.
And so that's the foundation of a relationship.
Right.
That she knows is going to end in heartache, but I still think it's so powerful when you just say, I would never trade in my years I had with this person just to,
even though it will end terribly. And it's part of why then when you get to go see it a second time, you meet Amy Adams a different way at the beginning of the movie. Because what she is the second time is an empty person. She's a person who has not lived very much, is in this job and
has a really beautiful house.
Has a very beautiful house.
I don't know where it's at, but I'm like,
no
damn,
idea. I'm like, dude, I should have studied more linguistics when I should have not withdrawn from my linguistics class like I did, because I was gonna fail it. But when you meet her in the movie, like it's. She's this very empty person.
Yeah.
And so the lesson is even more powerful because she having her life filled with both good and bad experiences. I also think it's really important that the message isn't even as simple as she has the daughter knowing that the daughter is going to die in 16 years or whatever. it's also that she falls in love with Ian, knowing that she's going to make a choice that will inevitably hurt him, right? Like, that is fascinating because she doesn't have any control over what happens to her daughter, right? She does have control over what she does to Ian, and so that's the one to struggle with, because it's not just saying that you have to be at peace with the bad things that happen to you. It's also being at peace with the mistakes that you make or the choices that you make, even if they're not necessarily mistakes. Because her telling him isn't necessarily a mistake, right? Like, it's a subjective thing of whether or not she continue to live knowing a thing that he doesn't know. Like, that's a tough thing to even decide. But that adds this whole other layer to what the movie is saying that is just beautiful.
I agree.
It's immeasurable how good this script is. And even watching it a second time, if you strip away all of the amazing meaning in this story, it is also a brilliantly put together and assembled script where everything is set up properly. And even the sat phone, even the sat phone has a setup and a payoff in the movie where, it's a level 3 element of the movie. Like, it's something that does not matter at all.
And I think that's a testament to Daniel Villeneuve. Is all his
we're terrible.
His movies have so many layers to it.
Yeah.
Where if you talk about Sicario, it's not just about Emily Blunt being this badass agent. She's also someone who's lonely and has to learn to work with people, that everything isn't what it seems. There's horrible things in the world.
What's fascinating is how different those two movies are, because Sicario is the end of Sicario is a very nihilistic message about how at least Emily Blunt's world is actually a very dark and difficult one, and that this guy has done terrible things, but maybe he was right, and she doesn't know how to deal with that. This is the exact opposite. I mean, this is a movie about how amazing humanity is and can be, and how wonderful our lives are, and it is a reaffirming film that is really encouraging, just because he is, he's not just telling us a sad story. He can also tell us really happy ones.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad you like this movie.
No,
I was terrified that
really?
Oh man. No, just because it is also a very deliberately paced, and I think that some people may rate it as being sappy, but I think that they're wrong.
I think so too.
I think that there's I think that there is something really powerful about having these conversations and having something like this to really chew on. So
definitely go see this
I'm
film.
glad you like it. Yeah, man. What did we not talk about?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I think the aliens were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abbott and Costello were neat looking. Just so bizarre.
I guess what I did like too is the one thing, they set up a thing where the army guys put a bomb in there.
Yeah.
And right away you think that the aliens would attack, but they didn't. They're like, no, we're not here to attack. We need your help.
Did Abbott die because of the bomb? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, because he said he's in the process of death.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if it was just he was done. I couldn't tell. Did the glass break when the explosion happened, and maybe that's why he was dying? I made the assumption, but I think we're intentionally left to not really know, just because she doesn't really know, right? She's forced to assume as well. Yeah, I also will say, Steve from the Alamo and I talked about this afterwards. I have a problem with the line of dialogue, "Let's make a baby," because it's very on the nose, and just feels very unnatural. But I also, in rewatching it, realized that it's actually kind of an interesting. It's a very ironic line, and it reminds you in that moment in the end sequence that he doesn't know. That she's making a choice for the two of them, that he doesn't understand what he's actually choosing, and that pays a lot adds a lot to that element of her making choices, and even though she knows she's making choices that may hurt people. So anyway, But if one line of dialogue is enough to make a movie bad, then I mean I don't. It's just like that's the only gripe that I had the first time was I was like, that's weird. I don't love that in this otherwise amazing movie. But it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, go see it.
Yeah.
Next week I think we're seeing Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah. I've never been this excited for a Harry Potter movie.
So it should be fun.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. Until next week.
Bye.
Bye. Real Nerds is a Nebulous Visions multimedia production. We would also like to thank Sparks Mandrill for our music. Additional music from Ben Sounds. Thank you to Alamo Drafthouse. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. And thank you for listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.